We see people become millionaires all the time, often through spur-of-the-moment changes like winning the lottery or gaining a trust fund. Beyond that, the concept of a billionaire is a baffling one. Billionaires make up what's known as the 1% of society, the elite of the elite, the wealthiest of the wealthy, and the cornerstone of much of the economy. A lot of people have very specific views when it comes to this sect of society. Some people never give it any thought past, "Wow, I wish that was me." Others spend a lot of their time trying to figure out exactly how to get that title tacked on to the end of their own name. And then, of course, there are the people like us who take it a step further. See, this video isn't actually about billionaires. It's about the elusive title that rests just beyond it. What's beyond a billionaire? Well, that would be a centibillionaire, someone who owns at least $100 billion. And after that, the elusive title of trillionaire. That's what we're going to discuss today. If you're curious about the land beyond a billionaire's reach, this is the video for you. First, let's get into the nitty-gritty facts about what makes up this obscenely huge amount of money. Because it's such a fantastical concept, it can be hard to picture. You've probably never seen a trillion anything before. So putting that concept into the form of money with value can be pretty difficult. Let's try and break it down a little. There are 9 zeros tacked onto the end of 1 billion. That's the same as 1,000 million. When you're thinking about it in terms of dollars, that's a staggering amount. There is nothing in the world that you couldn't buy with $1,000 million. You would never have to worry about another bill in your life. You would never have to pass up anything at the grocery store again. Birthdays, holidays, gifts for friends and family, the latest piece of technology, it's all within your reach. There's no counting pennies out, no adding up the budget in your head. If you want something, it's yours. Because of that, it can be easy to think that being a billionaire is the highest point you can reach. Even a centibillionaire, that's someone who owns several $100 billion, can be hard to fathom. But it's actually not the highest peak out there. In fact, we're currently in the middle of a race to see who's going to be the first trillionaire in modern history. That's right, there are currently no trillionaires in modern history. In fact, only 6 trillionaires have ever existed, and they're all from the long past. They would be Genghis Khan, the king of the Mongol Empire; Xiao Zhu, Emperor Shenzong of Song in China; Akbar, the great emperor of India's Mughal dynasty; Amenhotep III, the pharaoh of Egypt; Augustus Caesar, the Roman emperor; and King Solomon, the king of Israel. It's incredible to think that there have been 6 people already with that amount of wealth amassed to them. But it's equally amazing to realize that there's only been 6 of them, and that they have all lived in what we today would consider to be ancient times. Let's pop back into a more modern hemisphere. Clearly, we're interested in following along with the people who are alive and kicking today, and seemingly headed to be the next trillionaire. Lucky number 7. Before we get into the details of the race itself, let's look at that number. $1 trillion. There's a 1 with 12 zeros after it. Or you could look at it like a math problem. 1 million multiplied by 1 million equals 1 trillion. It's an amount of money that truly supersedes rational thought. It would make Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk look like common paupers. It's a million. It's 1,000 billion. And it's an amount of wealth that no single person in the modern era has ever managed to amass at a single time. But you want to know what the wildest part of it all is? That could change. In fact, it's believed that could change in our generation. There's what's known as a race going on right now. The top contenders, that is, the people with the highest chance of becoming trillionaires, are Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk. I'm sure that you recognize all 4 of those names. They're pretty incredible people who have brought a lot of innovations into our world and our society. They're also 4 of the richest people alive right now, all of them with businesses that are not just thriving, but actively growing. These 4 people have the highest net worths of the modern world. We'll give them a quick listing. Mark Zuckerberg at $121 billion. Bill Gates at $126 billion. Elon Musk at $151 billion. Jeff Bezos at $196 billion. Let us know in a comment down below, what would you do if you had as much money as Jeff Bezos? Where's the first place that it would go? If you add that together, you get $639 billion. That still nowhere close to $1 trillion. So how is one of these men supposed to become the world's first trillionaire? It's simple. The companies that these men own are all still growing in size, growing in what they offer, and growing in worth. Just 12 years ago, Facebook was a dot on the map. That means in 12 years, Mark Zuckerberg managed to gain a net worth of $121 billion. The fact that Mark Zuckerberg now also owns Instagram and WhatsApp only further raises his chances. There's been rumor that he plans on expanding and purchasing other smaller companies, as well as unveiling a new whispered about product of his own. That means he's actively working at building not just his brand but his business, and constantly finding new ways to improve on his already monumental wealth. Similarly, in just the past 3 years, Amazon stocks have gone up 186%. That's not counting the massive raise in value that the COVID-19 pandemic gave to both Amazon's marketplace and to Jeff Bezos himself. In fact, the recent pandemic, COVID-19, has helped give Amazon the title of most used marketplace in existence. If we add in the fact that Jeff Bezos is set to fly on the first commercial non-NASA funded American rocket to breach space next month, it's easy to see how his value could quadruple in the next 10 years. After all, once his flight goes over well, Jeff Bezos has plans on turning that into a lucrative market, where he'll be offering commercial flights into space for the common man, at a very high price tag, of course. With those facts laid out, it makes a little more sense as to how these already rich men are on a straight line towards becoming even richer. Without a doubt, we'll be seeing their net worth value double in the next 10 years, and maybe even triple. That doesn't leave Bill Gates or Elon Musk out of the running either. In fact, there are a lot of people who are betting that one of these two men will strike it lucky and overtake Jeff Bezos as the richest man alive. So let's take a quick look at what they have ahead of them and why they're in the running to be the modern world's first trillionaire. As the co-founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates is constantly amassing more wealth. Bill Gates alone earns roughly $380 a second. That's more than most people earn in a week-long minimum wage job, and the amount he makes seemingly doubles every time Microsoft releases a new product, updates the Windows operating system, or makes another high-dollar purchase of a smaller technological company. Never forget that Microsoft is one of the largest Apple stakeholders at 150 million Apple shares, or that Microsoft owns Skype, Mojang, GitHub, LinkedIn, and aQuantive. The list of companies that Microsoft owns seems to double with every passing year. Microsoft even owns the company formerly known as Nokia. Their reach is wide-spanning, and it isn't unlikely to imagine Microsoft eventually fully buying out Apple and expanding their mass revenue through means of iPhone and iPad products, or the Apple-owned line of Mac computers. So it's easy to see how he's in the running to become the world's first trillionaire. And Elon Musk? Well, he's the founder of Tesla, the founder of Neuralink and OpenAI, and the CEO of SpaceX. He has his hands in so many pots that it's hard for anyone to keep track of all his many endeavors. But there is one that's standing at the forefront of the race to be a trillionaire. Jeff Bezos isn't the only one who's eyeing space travel as the next great money-making opportunity. Elon Musk, through his company SpaceX, is currently trying to devise a plan that will allow him to commercially colonize Mars. And that's right. He wants to send 10,000 people to Mars, where they will work to help turn the red planet into the next human civilization. If this is something that he's actually able to achieve, there's no doubt about how fast his net worth is going to skyrocket. This doesn't even factor in the fact that Elon Musk would continue to bring in money via the fact that people would be actively working on Mars and forced to purchase the items created by SpaceX to fund, fuel, and operate this possible futuristic colony. For those of you thinking it's just a crazy dream, you might end up being wrong. Recently, Elon Musk sold off all of his personal homes in order to gain the funding needed to actively begin working towards his goal of colonizing the planet Mars. So fellas, the race is on. Any one of these four men could end up being the world's first trillionaire. We want to know who you think is going to make it to the finish line first. Let us know in a comment down below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up on your way out. And if you want to keep an eye on the future endeavors of Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates, make sure to subscribe to our channel and check out our other videos.